Greetings everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Gonna take a look back at my favorite albums from 2006 as we go back and kind of look over the albums that are turning 20, 30, 40, etc. years old, 10 years old. I'll do 16 next. So my last one I did was 1986, so yes, I did skip over 1996 because I just posted 1996 within the last year or so. And honestly, my list for 96 wouldn't change that much. I think if anything, I might swap in Predator from Accept and swap out maybe Bringing Down the Horse or Lemon Parade, but my top 7 haven't changed, so hopefully I'll remember to link that to the description below, and if you want to check that out, please feel free and let me know your favorite albums from 1996. But this video, we're going to talk about 2006. Hard to believe some of these albums are now 20 years old. So let's get into it. My top 10 favorite albums from 2006, starting with my number 10.
Live to win till you die, till the light dies in your eyes. Live to win.
Number 10, I've got Live to Win from Paul Stanley. This is Paul's second studio album, first if you don't count the 78 solo album with Kiss. But Paul Stanley puts out a pretty good solo album here, right in the midst of Kiss not releasing much of anything in the 2000s. So it was nice to have a new album from Paul Stanley, especially with Paul being my favorite member. I was really ecstatic to have this to kind of satisfy my need for some new Kiss music. This year, it's a little bit different from what you would expect from a Kiss album. It's not as punchy as a Kiss album you would think would be, but this one is a very positive and uplifting, with a lot of kind of positive messages on here. Live to Win, Lift, Wake Up Screaming, All About You. The album closer, Where Angels Dare, really good. If anything, I might say the 3 ballads drag it down just a little bit. Not that they're bad, but there's a little bit too much of them. I would swap at least one out for maybe another upbeat track. But other than that, I think this is a solid album from Paul Stanley, and it's my 10th favorite album of 2006.
In the fog lights, there was tear gas floating through the twilight, and he wondered what life would be like with a giant screen TV, a fridge full of beer, and a conscience that's clean. See,
in the number 9 spot, I've got The Silver Lining from Soul Asylum. This is their first album in 9 years since Candy from a Stranger, which came out in the late 90s. A nice comeback record for these guys. Some of my favorite tracks on here include Stand Up and Be Strong, Lately, Crazy Mixed Up World, All Is Well, Bus Name Desire, and Oxygen. Pretty good album overall from Soul Asylum. So my number 9 favorite album from 2006, Soul Asylum, The Silver Lining. In the number 8 spot, I've got Phobia from Breaking Benjamin. This album was released in August of 2006. I got this album the day before it came out, technically, because I called a local CD store to ask if they were going to have this in stock, and they said that they did have it, and that if I wanted to, I could come in and get it that day. So that's what I did. So I got to enjoy this album a day before most of the rest of us, or most of the rest of you. So despite the fact that I was never crazy about Diary of Jane, I don't dislike it, but I was just sort of meh when I first heard it. This album does have some pretty nice highlights for me. I really love Breath. I love Evil Angel. It has my all-time favorite Breaking Benjamin song, which is Unknown Soldier. Had Enough is great. You Fight Me is kind of underrated too. So not really one of my favorite Breaking Benjamin albums, but still one of my favorites from 2006. Phobia by Breaking Benjamin is my number 8. In the number 7 spot, let's go with Major Lodge Victory from Gin Blossoms. This is their first album in 10 years since Congratulations, I'm Sorry in 1996. And again, a nice comeback album for Gin Blossoms here. This is a more positive feeling album, I think, than the more kind of depressing tinge that they had in the 90s with albums like New Miserable Experience. But despite that shift in the tone, otherwise this pretty much sounds like Gin Blossoms, like you would expect. Highlights on here for me include Learning the Hard Way, Come On Hard, Someday Soon, Long Time Gone, Curious Thing, and possibly my favorite song on the album, Full for the Taking, the penultimate track. So really good album from Gin Blossoms, my number 7 for 2006.
Big man stands behind an open door.
In the number 6 spot, let's go with Pearl Jam's self-titled album, Pearl Jam, or the Avocado album, however you want to refer to it as. Another album I think starts off really strong with Life Wasted, Worldwide Suicide, Comatose I like a lot, Severed Hand, Marker in the Sand. Those are probably my 5 favorite tracks on the album, though I think the whole thing has grown on me a little bit from the first time I heard this. Pretty solid album from Pearl Jam. It's going to come in at the number 6 spot for me.
If I want it all, then I'll get it all. Do I need it all? I need nothing.
Number 5, we're going to go with Revolutions Per Minute by Skid Row. This is like my ultimate guilty pleasure album. All the bad things that you've heard about this album, or all the bad things that you may think about this one, it's all true. It's all legit. I think this album sounds like it was put together by a garage band that had never made an album in their life. Some of the lyrics on here are beyond silly, juvenile in a way. I mean, songs like Another Dick in the System, White Trash. I mean, I don't know what the heck was the thought process there. Gosh, and even the songwriting feels very amateurish compared to other previous Skid Row albums. Hard to believe that this band once released albums like Slave to the Grind. All that said, I love this album, and I don't know why. This is, I click with this one. I liked this one a lot when it came out. I still jam to it quite a bit. And despite everything, I will say Disease and Nothing are both really good songs. I think if you've written this album off, at least check out those 2 songs. I think those 2 songs are pretty good bangers. But even other than that, When God Can't Wait, I kind of dig. Shut Up Baby, I Love You. I like the riff in that song. I think Strength is a good cover. You Lie is a country song, but I actually kind of like it. Yeah, I don't know. I like this one. I actually expect it to be a little bit higher for me, but a few albums that I have gotten into recently or that I have rediscovered have knocked it down a few pegs. So Revolutions Per Minute by Skid Row is my number 5.
What's this I see? Through the eyes of the king.
In the number 4 spot, I'm going to go with Maniacal Renderings from John Oliva's Pain. This is an album that in the year 2006 I had absolutely no idea about. Savatage was not even on my radar. I don't even know if I had ever heard of him at that point. But as time goes by, and especially this past year, as I've become a bit of a Savatage fan myself, I began checking out some of the John Oliva's Pain albums as well, and I really, really like this one. This sounds like it could be the long-lost Savatage album. It definitely quenches the thirst for more Savatage. It has a great stuff on here. I mean, John Oliva's vocals sound on point, and this was put together, I believe, from recordings from Chris Oliva before his untimely passing in '93, and John Oliva kind of put some songs together around that. So all that awesome. Some of my favorite songs on here include Through the Eyes of the King, the title track, Evil Beside You, Time to Die, Push It to the Limit, The Answer. A lot of good stuff on here. I think this is a really fun album, and it's my 4th favorite from 2006.
I feel so much better now that you're gone forever. I tell myself that I don't miss you at all.
In the number 3 spot, I'm going to go with 1X from 3 Days Grace. This is an album I have not listened to in a long time. I bet you the last time I listened to this album from start to finish was probably the late 2000s. But I went back to this for this list, and I forgot about a lot of these songs, man. There's some good songs on here. Animal I've Become is a good hit. I dig that one. But songs like It's All Over is really good. I forgot how much I like that one. Never Too Late's a pretty good ballad. But songs like On My Own, Get Out Alive, Let It Die, Time of Dying, Gone Forever. I forgot about these songs. I really did. So I didn't really expect this one would finish this high for me. I thought it would make my list, but just going back to this and revisiting some of these songs I have not heard in such a long time, I really enjoyed it. I'm not the biggest 3 Days Grace fan in the world, but I did have this album when it came out. I have, again, picked it up because I had gotten rid of it, but yeah, this was fun to go back. I might be overrating it a little bit. I think, generally speaking, I'm more likely to reach for John Oliva's Pain, Pearl Jam, maybe even Skid Row over this one. But as for an album that takes me back to 2006, I mean, this one sounds like I'm in high school all over again. So I'm putting this one in the number 3 spot. So 1X by 3 Days Grace comes in number 3.
Fingers crossed, the truth is out of loss. Big decision for an ordinary coward. The only problem is your fucking rhetoric. We're more in danger than before you took power. Now it's just a game.
In the number 2 spot, I've got Come Whatever May by Stone Sour. This is an album that in 2006, 2007, when it was a new release, was not into it. Had very little interest. I was never a big fan of Through the Glass, the big hit off this album. I'm also not a Slipknot fan, so the fact that it's Corey Taylor, I just didn't interest me. But over time, I've come to know more on this album, and a lot of it I quite like. And just like the 3 Days Grace album, I went back and re-listened to some of this I hadn't heard in a while. And I don't know that I expected it to finish in the number 2 spot, but I really dug this one. 30-31-50, great song. Kind of forgot about how much I like that. Same with the title track. Hell and Consequences, really good. Silly World's really good. Like I said, Through the Glass, probably the only song on here that I'm not that crazy about, but the rest of the album, I think it's pretty good. I really dig this one. Like I said, in 2006, 2007, had no interest in it. 5-10 years ago, I liked it, but now I love it. So, Come Whatever May by Stone Sour, gonna finish in the number 2 spot for me.
So take my hand now, we'll run forever. I can feel the storm inside you. I'll stay with you.
And that leaves Let Love In by the Goo Goo Dolls to be my favorite album of 2006. An album that was released on my 16th birthday, April 25th, 2006. And I love this one still. This was the album that kind of, it was new when I got into the Goo Goo Dolls. And a lot of the songs on here brought me into the band. The Supertramp cover, Give a Little Bit, really turned me on to the Goo Goo Dolls, as did Stay With You. I remember seeing that video quite a bit back in the day. Title track, Let Love In, another song that I still hear on the radio today. It's got kind of a cool 80s vibe to it. Other great tunes on here, Feel the Silence, Better Days, Can't Let It Go is a really good deep cut. And of course, Robbie's 2 songs on here. I always look forward to Robbie Takak's songs, and his 2 songs on here are both awesome, with Listen and Strange Love. So I love this album. It's my favorite from 2006, Let Love In from the Goo Goo Dolls. So let me know your favorite albums from 2006. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future. And I will catch you next time.